the Arkansas Razorbacks win in virtually every statistical category. Jalen Graham is super healthy, and the Arkansas Razorbacks defeat Fordham 74-48. This is Arkansas basketball recap. I'm Daniel Price. It's Jacob Price. I'm coming to you live from, not live, but recording this live. And I might be sounding like quiet and stuff because I'm in Detroit and it's late at night. And so I'm trying not to like have someone knock on my door and tell me I'm being too loud. But anyway, this game was weird because the first half of the first half felt a little bit like, and then there was moments where Arkansas just looked just like they were unstoppable, which they were. Um, it was an interesting. I'll be interested to see what kind of season Fordham has. Because I know they won their previous game, but they turned the ball over so much that it's you're like, I can't believe this was a really great basketball team.
Yeah, they have a couple of decent players, but their good players are undersized, which, you know, an undersized player can still be effective, but it's hard when every other guy on the floor is so long. And I don't think you can learn a lot from watching that game. They took care of business. I felt like they looked a little bit more like they were gelling. I mean, I think you saw that with some of the assists were a little bit higher. But
Shot more threes, missed more threes.
the to me, yeah, the outstanding question is, why are they so trepidate? Nobody shoots threes with confidence.
Mm-hmm.
Like Black took a couple, but well, the thing that still is to be like that you did see that could be a problem in the future is obviously this team was completely outmanned as far as bodies go. And they definitely took the strategy of, we're going to make them shoot threes and we're going to pack the lane. And they packed it in, but it was like it didn't matter. They were so outsized that even if they forced us into a tough shot and it went off, then we'd rebound it and then rebound it again. And eventually it would go in. And half the time, I mean, those guys could just go over, through, around, under those guys, regardless of, and make a tough layup. But you could see that it was definitely muddy in there, and there was some turnovers, and it wasn't. You can see where if there was big guys down there and equal athletes, that's going to be a strategy that teams are going to employ until we can prove that we can. Sorry, my cat might be making some noise, but until we can employ some or prove that we can shoot some threes, that's what I would do.
Yeah, well,
Especially because when those
we
guys, like I said, you can see it in their eyes or in their body language that they don't want to take it, which is
yeah,
weird.
it was almost like they were told, and this is weird, but it seems like they were told like, you got to take some of those open shots, you got to keep the defense honest, because that's what it looked like anyway. Like they were like, I have to shoot this. Last game we shot 10 threes, made 4. This time we shot 16, so we shot 6 more threes, we made 2. So we were 12.5% from the 3-point line, which is just not very good. I mean,
Yeah, and like I said, I mean, it also it didn't matter in this game, but there were moments where, I mean, and I've experienced this because I'm not like a great 3-point shooter. I mean, I can shoot threes, but that's not what I want to do, which is how I feel like most of those players are. It's like, oh, I can hit them, and in practice, when I'm warming up, I'll hit a bunch of them, but I'm just not in game a sharpshooter, so I don't want to be the guy to take that shot if there's somebody. I want to play down low, and but when I'm playing against somebody who is not that I can't post up against, some
yeah,
like when
yeah,
Alex guards me or somebody,
yeah.
nobody knows who that is, but like when somebody who's just outmatches me as a defender, and I know I can't go post up, or that's not the best thing for me to do. So I'm like, oh, I'll drag him out. Well, if I'm not going to shoot that shot, then and he's going to give it to me and he's just going to clog the lane and harass everybody and I'm just standing out there like an idiot. And then when the ball comes to me, if I hesitate and then give him time to come all the way out there, or even just kind of he just stands there and crouches and you don't shoot, it messes up the entire offense because the ball just stopped and everyone's just watching you. And that happened to Jordan Walsh early a couple of times where it's like you catch the ball and when you don't shoot it or make the quick decision that you're going to pass it back or drive, but you think about it, look, and you're like, I know I should. And then you swing. It's like the whole, you just killed 10 seconds and now you're basically just starting all over. And it's like, that's not going to work forever, like against good teams. We're going to have to figure out either don't go out there, like don't spread the floor, which is what I employ this strategy sometimes where it's like when I know I'm not going to shoot that shot or I'm not having a good shooting night and the guy's just leaving, I'm basically just standing in the corner, not doing anything. And my guy's running around harassing everybody. Then I'll go down there and just get in the paint just because then at least I can rebound. I can box that guy out and seal him. And if you're not going to shoot that shot, then you shouldn't be standing out there
Yeah.
because if they're going to get, I mean, and I'm not saying you should, but if you catch the ball, you've got to swing it. You can't just stand there, look at the goal, think about it, look around, and then move the ball. Like you've got to catch it and either shoot it or drive or pass and keep the offense flowing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But poor Jordan Walsh, I mean, he ended up having a decent night, but he's getting so many weird fouls. Like, and some of them are he's being like when he's trying to burst through that screen, it's a little bit his fault. But there were several times where it's like sometimes you just get caught
Yeah.
in a bad
Yeah.
situation, and even you play good defense on the first play, and then the ball like bounces to somebody behind you, and you turn around, and then they come up into you or whatever, and you can tell he was getting frustrated
Well,
because
he had that look of a dude who was told, "Hey man, you can't play 18 minutes and get 5 fouls. What are you doing? Like, clean that up." And then immediately got like 2 fouls. It was like no, no, no. I was trying not to foul. Like, it's that kind of thing.
yeah, it's going to be hard. Like I said, it's going to be hard to take anything major away long term from this, other than, like I said, I did feel
Other
like they,
than like real long, and I think defensively, I think there's some things we got to figure out on defense or on offense. But I think it's. I mean, not obviously we can get to the basket. We can do stuff inside. Great in transition. That's all there. Got to figure out how to make a half court offense work a little bit better. I think our defense looks great. It's looked great in both games. Like defensively, I think we're fine. I mean, that team is built to be real annoying on defense. I mean, both the games, Arkansas looked obnoxious on defense.
yeah, Black has got to be better with some of those. Some of his turnovers are from real forced passes
Mm.
that don't need to be, you can get the ball to that same spot in a easier way. It doesn't need to
Mm-hmm.
go through three different defenders or whatever. Um, but I
His
mean, he's
his
just young,
defense is so good.
and his offensive rebounding is amazing. Like, or really just his rebounding in general. Like he's that part of him is awesome. And the other thing, Musselman will take care of that. It's not like you're worried about that
Mm.
going on for a long time. I mean, if he like continues to turn the ball over in stupid ways, he'll just sit. You know what I mean? Like Musselman won't tolerate that, so it'll change. But so yeah, I mean, I feel good about that. Council, I mean, just keeps getting better in my opinion. Like tonight, even though I mean his points weren't as much, but he was doing a lot of. I mean, how many assists did he end up with? Because he was
So
dropping dimes on guys.
I mean, he's player of the game, right? Ricky Council. I mean, he's my player of the game. He had
Again,
he led in scoring. He's led the team in scoring with 15. He had 15 points, uh, 4 rebounds, 7 assists, 2 steals. Yeah,
it's pretty
he's
good.
great. I mean, there's nothing not to like about Ricky Council. He's great.
What did you
Um,
think about at the end? Did he just take blackout for the majority of that, like the last 8 minutes or whatever, just because he could see that the game was well in hand and he
and it
wanted
was like
to?
I mean, he definitely tweaked his ankle or something, and
But then
I
he
don't,
but then he played a little bit longer, and then he took him. You think he was just like, well, this game's in hand. I mean,
yeah.
not he didn't actually. I don't think he put him in directly for him, but the guy that came in was Graham,
Mm-hmm.
and he
Yeah,
looked pretty good.
he's super healthy, dude.
Graham is super healthy. Yeah.
He's super healthy, dude. He's real healthy. No, he came in. Graham had 8 points in 11 minutes.
Yeah. Felt every time he tried to score,
He
it
did.
went in either on the first or second
Yeah,
try.
no, everyone. I mean, the word on Graham is that like he's super good on offense. Like has the best footwork of anyone on the team in the post. Like, dude is nice. But apparently, uh, it appears that Muss hasn't liked his rebounding effort and his defensive tenacity. And
Hmm.
you know how Muss is, dude. Especially if he's got this roster, he gotta like those things about you. Or I don't care how good your footwork is, you are not playing. And I think the last game was some of that. Most of this game was some of that, and you decided to give him a chance. And um, he did go in there, and to his credit, I mean, he had 8 points in 11 minutes. He also had 3 rebounds.
Yeah. He also had the an absolute atrocity of announcing, which is you got a guy that hasn't played very much in his short period of time playing, gets a dunk, and his name is Graham, and you said a slam from Graham, it's all right, but a Graham slam is right there.
It is right there.
A Graham slam home run. Like you're not going to get to say that often.
It's a Grand Slam. It's
It's
like
a
a
Graham
s'more.
slam. It's a Graham slam home run right there.
Yeah, I don't
Come
know.
on, announce. I mean, like
It's
it's on the plate. It's right there for you.
it's true. Uh, so just kind of like I mean, like I said, I don't. There's not a ton for us to talk about in this game. Going through some of the other players, you know, Makai Mitchell, he had 8 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, 3 steals. He gets a lot of steals,
It's going to
like
take
for
me
a big
so
guy.
long to be able to differentiate those two brothers.
Yeah, Mikel and Makai.
Yeah, they looked. Are they identical? Because
Yeah,
if they're not, they're close.
yeah,
Like
they're identical, but one's got like square head and one hair, and one's got
I know, but I'm also bad with names anyway.
yeah.
And like their names are similar too. Like I don't know. It's
Well, one plays a lot more than the other.
yeah.
So, uh, yeah, so he played good. He hits a lot of steals. Like, I think he had like 3 steals last game. I don't. He's getting a lot of
What
steals.
did you think? It was interesting that he started and played so much. And do you think there was something?
No, I thought he played 25 minutes. I thought that was good. I mean, I still think it's weird. It's interesting that Brazil's coming off the bench again. Brazil
Mhm.
played 32 minutes
Yeah,
off the
Brazil.
bench.
That wasn't weird though, because Brazil, played a lot of minutes, but it was just interesting that he didn't put you know the guy that I kind of thought was our big man got put in
Kamani Johnson.
with the scrubs, at the end, and I just
Mm-hmm.
wonder if those guys are just out playing him in practice,
Mm-hmm.
or because I did think that, like I said, whichever one was out there, like they had some nice moments, like they,
Mm-hmm.
both put up some had some,
He's definitely still trying to figure out this rotation. I mean, it does seem like you know, Devo's going to be in it. Obviously, Ricky Council played more minutes than anybody. He played 37 minutes tonight.
yeah, he's solid.
Yeah,
I
he's
mean,
in
he
that.
might be better. Like he's one of those guys I look at and I'm like, is this guy going to be one of those guys that is blooming into like an NBA player, like
Mm-hmm.
full blown? You know what I mean?
Yeah, Anthony Black's going to play a ton of minutes. When Nick Smith comes back, he's going to play a ton of minutes.
Hmm.
Trevon Brazil's going to play a ton of minutes. So that's Davis, Council, Black, Nick Smith, Brazil. So there's 5. Then you have Jordan Walsh. I think he's going to get minutes.
He's going to play a lot.
Yeah, he's going to play a lot. Makai Mitchell is probably going to play a lot. He's been playing a lot. Jalen Graham looked pretty good. I think people were expecting Jalen Graham. Now we're at 8, and I know Must don't play more than 8. That for significant minutes.
Right.
So, I mean, tonight he really only played.
Who's the best 3-pointer out of those? I mean, except for Nick Smith is probably the best 3-point shooter, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. From that group, yeah.
Is
I mean,
anyone?
tonight he really only played 6 a lot. He played the starters in Brazil. The next guy with the most minutes was Graham with 11 minutes. Nobody else got more than 5 minutes. I mean, it was just Akai Mitchell, Jordan Walsh, Anthony Black, Ricky Council, Devo Davis, and Trevon Brazil. That was it. And then Jalen Graham played 11 at the end. So and maybe that's what it is. Maybe you add, so that's 6 guys. Maybe Jalen Graham gets some more minutes than that. And you have Nick Smith back, and there's 8, and that's it. I mean, I just don't. And then you got guys being left out. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if there's minutes for Kamani Johnson, like a bunch of minutes for Kamani Johnson in there. If Makai Mitchell's going to outplay him, because Brazil's not going to not play minutes.
Yeah, I kind of thought he would have like a 7 or 8 man rotation, but with like Kamani and the Mitchell twins kind of like playing 20 and 20.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like or something like that. Like them playing about half, just because I don't know. I just felt like we got 2 good big men or
do you
3.
Do you think Davis is coming off the bench when Nick Smith comes back? Because I don't think Anthony Black is.
Maybe, probably, huh? I mean, I guess it depends.
I think AB is starting. Just too like defensive. I just would think he maybe not. I don't know.
And Devo's not. I mean, like
and Devo's proven to be good off the bench. Like I know he can come off the bench and be good.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So
yeah, he's a good 6 man. I mean, he's used to that too, so that makes some sense. Honestly.
I mean, honestly, if when Nick comes back, because Nick's going to start, and so if you put him in there, and I mean, if you're bringing and you leave it as it is, the way he's doing right now, and I'm sure he won't, but I'm just like playing games here. If you do that, and you have Nick Smith in Devo's spot, and you're bringing Brazil, Devo, and Graham off the bench, it's pretty nice.
Yeah, I wish, like I said, I'd like to see some 3-point shooters.
I hopefully Nick is going to help with that. And I mean,
can Graham shoot threes?
I don't know. I haven't seen enough of him to know. But I mean, Council can, like, and Brazil can. They didn't make a bunch. I mean, Black shot 6 of them. He was 1 of 6. But I'm glad he shot. You gotta shoot him, man. Like, I mean,
yeah. Well, they were doing. I mean, they were playing way off him.
Yeah.
And you've got an undersized guy, a guy that's shorter than you, a defender that's shorter than you already, that you could probably get a shot over if you wanted it anyway. And then he's disrespecting you and like standing 8 feet away. It's like, you got to shoot. I mean, but then at the same time, if you miss them, you're playing right into their hands.
You're doing exactly
what I want to say is, I'm like, you got to get better at shooting threes.
Yeah. Yeah. Dude, Arkansas had 13 steals in this game.
Well, there was that one 3-minute segment where they racked up like 6 turnovers in about 45 seconds.
I mean, so the turnovers is Fordham turned the ball over 30 times.
I think it was a record. Didn't they say that?
Yeah.
I think they might have said it was a record.
Yeah. The most Arkansas's never turned a team over 30 times. That's a lot.
That actually kind of surprises me. Kind of surprised me that they didn't just play like some tiny cupcake school that was having even a down year for them and just like 25 to 100 and
maybe 40. Maybe just had coaches that were more merciful than us or something. I don't know.
I guess so. Because 30 is a lot, but it doesn't.
13 steals is a lot of steals. Like, those aren't turnovers. That's not 30 turnovers, but 13 outright steals. Like, that's a lot, dude.
Yeah. I mean, and the thing is, some of those, I mean, it was partially like they actually had unfortunate travels for them too. I mean, part of that was the length, because they'd get into the paint and then not have anywhere to go and be sliding their feet. But yeah, I mean, they must have had 4 travels called, like right in the paint. Oh yeah, but Brazil, I wonder if he's gonna get punished for that.
Well, they were chest butt a guy and then act like what?
Yeah, don't act like what, dude. First off, they were being chippy, and I was like, whatever his name is, the guy that has literally a name from the Key and Peele sketch, McCringleberry or whatever. It was like all chirping at him, like right up in his grill, and it's like he wanted to get some payback. But you can do that. I mean, I've seen, you see guys like, you can get the dunk, and if you land right next to the guy, you can kind of like, oh, I'm just walking, my momentum's carrying me, or I'm getting ready to play defense and we happen to be chest to chest and I just happen to have dunked it on you. But if the guy's 5 steps away, you can't like dunk, walk out of bounds, and then like chest butt and be like, oh, what? Oh, I was just, it's like, it's not even close, dude.
No, it was like I didn't really see it live. I was like, oh, what's going on? And then they on the replay, I was like, oh, what in the world? What are you doing?
Yeah. Uh, they is shameless, man. They're just like act like what? Especially after you just got one from like swatting the ball. You got a warning, and now that wasn't like that was just not
Mm,
thinking, but still, like you got to know, like they're already looking at you. The next thing's going to be a technical. It's not
yeah.
going to be a warning. They've already warned you about hitting the ball. Um, yeah. So, like I said, we can probably go. But what was that guy? Actually, that guy's name was hilarious.
Um,
Magooseberry or whatever.
you
No,
no.
Darius Quisenberry. That's
Yeah.
insane. That and then, but there were two dunks that need mentioning. The dude, it's got to. I mean, I don't know. Does anybody watch Sports Center anymore? I don't even know. It used to be a thing, but like, if they do, that's got to be one on the top 10. The cup
Yeah, Ricky Council just
freaking tomahawk. Where
yeah.
with I thought for sure he's gonna have to dribble it. He caught it like just inside the 3 point line, and with one hand, never touched it with his other hand, and never dribbled it, and just that was sick. And then his oop to Brazil was sick too.
Yeah, I thought Brazil busted his elbow on the rim.
Yeah, those are two, dude. Those would have been season highlights for several of our years. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like,
yeah. What, we're
it's
gonna have one of those every game? We're gonna just have a
we're gonna
council
have
in
like
Brazil just
three
coming,
every game.
just coming in like a maniac.
Those weren't even all of the dunks. Like we're getting like now we are one of those teams now where it's a little bit like the when Blake Griffin and Jordan were on the team, and it was
Lob City.
yeah, Lob City. That's what it feels like. It feels like we're gonna get like 6.5 dunks a game, and two of them are gonna be like ridiculous fall out of the rafters, highlight dunks. And whereas like I guess it's that year we had likes and I forgot what's his name, Bulldog forehead,
Oh, Mason Mason Jones.
Mason Jones. Our team was so undersized that year that we like nobody dunked it. Like they could be wide open, like
Mhm.
turnover
I
running
remember
down the
Mason
lane, and they'd
Jones
lay it.
dunked it one time, and I was like, I didn't, I wasn't 100% sure he could dunk
Mm.
until that moment.
I think Likes did the same thing. Like I didn't because Likes was. I mean, how tall was he? He wasn't that big.
I assumed like couldn't dunk.
Yeah, but he actually did dunk it once, I think. But those guys, yeah, they were just laying it in there. But yeah,
Like,
it's
do you remember Michael Qualls was crazy athletic,
yeah,
but even Qualls wasn't like weirdo like Brazil.
yeah. Qualls was pretty close though. I mean, well, I don't know
But
what
just when
his
he wasn't as long, it didn't look
yeah,
as crazy. Like
yeah.
Brazil comes
Well,
in and you're just like, what in the
what are Brazil's stats or his numbers? His
oh for this game?
no, his length
Oh,
compared to Qualls, because Qualls was like
he
six
wasn't.
five,
Yeah, but
Brazil's like 6'8".
Brazil, yeah, at least yeah, like with 7'4" wingspan. Like his that's the ridiculous part about him, dude. He just looks crazy when he comes flying in. He looks wild.
It's definitely a interesting aesthetic team because you
Yeah,
got our point guard looking like Krusty the Clown or something, and I mean I like it. It looks cool.
yeah.
It just bounces all the way up and down the court, and then yeah, you've got I mean Brazil's an interesting thing, and then I mean honestly, and we got Prometheus like he's looking all primordial. You know what I mean? Like the first person ever.
Who Jordan Walsh?
Yeah, Walsh. I mean, I know that's not. I mean, he's got like a condition, right? Like
Yeah, it's alopecia. Yeah,
alopecia, but
it's a
still,
good. It's
it
good. It's a
looks.
good way to have someone come slap you off in the face on stage.
What's that? Oh yeah, Will Smith. No, I mean, I think he looks cool,
Yeah.
but I mean, my wife actually asked, she's like, does he shave his head or does that thing? Because yeah, you don't know. It's weird. Like it looks a little different than a guy with his head shaved just because his eyebrows and stuff. But like,
Mm.
it's not that much different. But but yeah, them all together though, and then uh, I guess freaking Council must be getting all the chicks. That dude's all handsome out there. So,
Dude, the uh the thing about Jordan Walsh, though, just bringing it up, I do like his game. I mean, I know he's like in foul trouble, and he just like, but I do like him a lot, like his game a lot.
yeah,
I mean, he's another guy. He's rangy, long, fast with the ball.
yeah. I mean, all those guys. It is weird. Like I don't have a good. I need to look at their numbers more because like they all seem like they're all 7 foot tall. They all look like Kevin Durant out there for college players, you know.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah. Pretty wild, dude. Um, well, I think we can leave it there. I will say this, I guess. The one thing I think, and maybe this is just because we're so good at finishing at the rim, so maybe this is why this is down. I feel like we don't shoot enough free throws
mm-hmm.
for the type of team we are. I didn't feel like either game we got to the line. It wasn't terrible. Like we shot 18 this game. Um, I think with this kind of team, if you're not going to shoot threes well, maybe you want to be at the free throw line like 25 times. And I don't think we're shooting. I mean, we were 12 of 18, which doesn't sound terrible, but it's 66%.
Mm-hmm.
Like as a team, I like you want to be closer to 70, 72%.
Yeah, that's interesting. We have to keep an eye on that because it does seem like we should be racking up a lot of fouls with the way that they basically our only
Mm.
means of scoring is attacking the basket.
And
And
like I said, maybe you're just like you're dunking it on someone's face and you don't get fouled. I don't know, but
yeah. I mean,
um,
we're because we're shooting not that many threes and not. I mean, they're taking a few, but not that many jump shots.
mhm,
You know what I mean? I mean, not that you want to take a ton of long jump shots necessarily, but it's mostly guys attacking the rim.
mhm.
And yeah, you would think that we would have more fouls than that. That's interesting.
Yeah. So I'll be keeping an eye on that. Uh, I know Musk doesn't ever like to be on the wrong end of that stat at the end of a game. He doesn't like it if your opponent shoots more free throws than you do. And with this team, that shouldn't like really ever happen.
Yeah,
So, so watch that. But anyway, well,
I do like watching Muss on the sideline when like I look to him every time uh somebody turns the ball over and he's in view. I'm always looking at him. He I feel like he has that Pepsi bottle there, so he doesn't because he turns like he's gonna hit the just like punch the pen. He's like he grabs the Pepsi bottle and turns around. He's just like wringing the Pepsi bottle out.
yeah, he has funny stuff. Actually, this has happened. Those coaches are just funny. Like all coaches do different things, you know. And like you were at, my daughter played her season opener last night, which you were at, and their team like really they're a defensive oriented team. Like they turn you over a bunch. They're got a bunch of girls that are similar sized and they switch everything and they're really good on defense. And there was one play, something had some miscommunication or something, and someone just drove the ball right down the middle of the lane and just laid it up. Like there was like it was obviously like just someone didn't switch. It was a coach calls timeout, and he calls timeout, and then and as they walk up, he just stands there with his arms folded and just starts looking at him like with no words.
Mm-hmm.
And coaches are just they're just all like heads down. He's just like
And
funny.
all the assistant coaches are like, hey, like kind of like trying to like gently dap him up, be the good cop.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, Must though. I don't know. That'd be fun. But I don't know. Must does a lot of different things. I could see him doing that too, just calling timeout and then just like making them all sit down and walking off or something. Just sit there and think about it. Oh man. We're all right. I'm gonna stop keeping the people in the rooms next to me awake, and we'll wrap it up. We'll be back after the next game against the South Dakota State Jackrabbits. See how that goes. The Jackrabbits have been a good team for the last several years as a tournament team,
Mm-hmm.
and
One of those weird mascots that you always like if they're in a you know one of those 11 or 13 seeds, you kind of like put them in there for the upset just because you
Yeah.
want to see them win.
Yeah. Their shirts say "Go Jacks." It's
Mm-hmm.
great. I mean, if I lived around there, I'd be decked out in Jackrabbit gear for sure. So we got that going on, and then it's on to the Maui tournament, dude, and
That's when it gets fun.
that's when we're gonna know.
Mm-hmm.
That's gonna be the real deal stuff right there. So one more game to figure it out before you go play Louisville, and I think against Louisville you need to have it mostly figured out. That would be good.
Yeah, might want to have somebody that can shoot a three.
Yeah, figure it out.
I
I
think they're
mean,
deep. I think if you can't shoot threes and you play Louisville, their defense is going to be able to keep you from scoring at the
here's what I'm
rim.
telling you. Look, if you need to keep Nick Smith out another game just to be sure, like he ain't gonna play against South Dakota State, just to be sure, that's fine. In fact, if you're not quite sure, like maybe he'll be back, maybe just don't have him be back. But let's make sure he is back for Maui. I need him on a plane to Maui with a uniform, not like joggers and a sweatshirt. Okay, like with a uniform. So whatever you got to do to make that happen, let's do that.
Yeah, it would be a bummer if he could, like, it would just suck some of the. It just, I mean, I guess
You
obviously if
just
you
come out of
won
it not
everything,
know,
it would still
dude.
be fun. But
Yeah. If you lost, you just come out of it not knowing.
yeah,
You just don't know because it's not because like one player. It's just the kind of player he is. Like it's like no, I need that player because that he's the shooter. He's. I mean, you're missing a guy that I feel like is going to make the offense run a much more fluidly in the half court.
mm-hmm.
I'm still like I mean, I'm really interested to see what it's going to look.
It
I
was
mean,
like
I've seen it, but like,
it
I'm
was
just
like last year. I mean, they're not the same player, but it was like last year when we went on that losing streak because no, with we lost some games without Note when Note sat.
mm,
And it's like, yeah, we had other players, but like that was the heart and soul of the team. I mean, it's not that bad this year because we actually do have more guys,
mm.
but it's similar in that that is the player
This
that the whole
team,
thing was revolved around.
yeah, this team can be very good without Nick Smith, but
Mm-hmm.
they're not. They can't be as good without him. It's because they don't have like another one of him. They got lots
Yeah,
of these rangy guys. Maybe you can make it work if someone else gets hurt, but like we don't have another Nick Smith. Like so, it'd be good if he was able to go on this Maui trip and make sure he's healthy. I'm not saying that. Like if he ain't healthy, don't do it. Like because I really reckon I need him for SEC play more than anything. But let's hope. I'm hoping. It
I
makes
agree.
me nervous because they're just like don't know, and you're like, no, I don't like that. Like, well, how come you're not saying like, oh, 2 weeks should be good? You're just like, don't know, just watching it.
Maybe
Mm,
they probably just it's probably just that scouting stuff where they don't want the Louisville coaches to know who they're going to
yeah,
be, playing against or
yeah,
whatever.
yeah. Well, it makes me
So
nervous.
it makes them have to spend more time, you know, checking different scenarios and practicing against different lineups, and
Yeah,
just makes it a little bit harder and a little bit more work for the other team, I guess.
yeah.
So,
Well, hopefully it's all fine by then. So, all right, man. Well,
all
I
right, dude.
will see you back in Arkansas when I get back.
All right. See you,
All
man.
right, see ya.